Isana rukuna lengu vanua kena kwa enjina eluchuke
Amalini Sitibeni Kunaika, originally from Nambau village. What I can tell about myself is that I have been involved in social work for more than 30 years now.
Sometimes when you go into the communities, the elders, they cannot remember or recall what was the last time that a disaster has ever happened.
I'm passionate about serving the people, especially in the area of social inclusion and gender. Those areas we've been learning from yesterday, attending the training yesterday. That was the first time for me to be in the EOC training. And most of the time when we go to workshops, I've been attending workshops with NDMO, both at district, divisional, and also at national level. Last one we went through the regional one. And I can say that this one, most of the time when you attend NDMO workshops and training, it's mostly just on how to prepare ourselves before, during, and after, how to respond. That is just in general on everybody. But now it seems to be highlighting and specifically going to the vulnerable communities. And that's why I'm so excited about this training, because it really defines the finer points of how to attend to the needy one during disaster. And that is why I'm saying I'm so excited about it, and it's giving me so much to learn, because all we know is that for these marginalized people, they have been left aside most of the time during our work. We don't seem to be so much focused on them. But for this training, it really gives me an insight that we need to include them. Inclusivity is very important. Lama kenawai untuk memenan nawa lama nawa terus kan kamu nawa ini. As you can see, this is Tuba River. I said that we have a project going on, the Reef to Ridge project. We are right in the, may I say, in the middle, in the center of Tuba River. The mouth of the river and the source of the river right up at Vunamoli. And during the 2012 flooding, as you can see, that's the main highway, the main Queens Highway, and that is Samo Bridge. The Samo Bridge, you can see the vehicle traveling. The level of the water came right up to the top plate.
Samo village in Singatoka fell right in the path of the floodwaters, and not a house was spared. As these pictures show, homes and belongings suffered utter destruction.
The village was like an island, and they called me to seek some assistance. How can I get some help in order to transfer the people from Samo village to higher ground? I tried to call the police, and the police told me they were also swimming. The flooding was also in Singatoka. So I knew I wouldn't be able to get in touch with PA because the state of emergency was not declared yet. And at the time, I thought that I have to do something. So I went out look at the situation in Samo. And then sick with 2 other boys, we went and have to go out about 7 kilometers, get a boat, have to go around a few places to get the boat, the engine, get some money. We wait for time for the shop to open, we fill some petrol, then we come by. 6 o'clock, we started transporting the people from Samo village to higher grounds.
There are 3 key things in the new development paradigm that I want to speak on today. One, we must accept the fact that the way we live has changed and will continue to change. This is the new norm. You've heard about the term, new norm, the new normal. We will expect frequent and more severe disasters, whether it's climate-induced or nature on its own to climate change. And of course, the new shift now is pandemics. So we have disasters, we have climate change, and we have pandemic.
Weather forecast. I have a physical disability that's on my left foot, and I was born with it. That's where my year of birth, that was in 1977. I born with it. They normally use the word Tyler piece to subscribe, and it was happened on both of my legs. And I goes to school from class 1 to class 8 and up to a secondary school level, right up to Form 4. And what really touches my heart, being a representative, people with disability throughout Nadroga Navosa, I used to feel sorry, thinking of my members are out there. And what normally arises in me is that when I walk through public places, like in towns, in church gatherings, like in the market, in the school, or any happenings or any occasions that have been going throughout my year of life, first thing that arose into my heart is that to feel ashamed in front of the public, in the way I walk. Like I used to think of, I have to hide somewhere. I have to think of, I should be sitting down and not walking. And I used to think of, like in my heart inside, I used to say, blame my parents. Why they are doing this to me? I'm the youngest in the family. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And looking up to them with their ability and with me like this. And what arose in my heart is that I shouldn't be going anywhere, shouldn't go out to people, shouldn't go out to public places or where people can see me. And mostly and most of the time, what is very painful when people look at me and they saying, "Oh, emong gitu na yavana, eh? Oh, really ko manda no na ilako." Hey, vata tu na yavana, and that thing to say in my heart, "Horusarani kami uyali batotoloyan," to disappear from my people. But I can hear them saying that, and when I turn my back and look at them, the whole crowd, like 6 or 7, they are looking at me.
Yes, the Fiji Disabled People's Federation is a recipient of funding through the Australian Humanitarian Partnership. And we've had facilitators and instructors that are deployed with a team from the Fiji Disabled People's Federation. However, we have always been open to and we have encouraged the participation of disabled people's organizations at a district level. And what we've seen, and I thank Amelia for being able to be part of the training. Real life stories and experiences, they have, I believe, a greater impact to supporting messages that training such as the inclusion training in the Emergency Operations Center tries to advocate for. And so and what's also positive is the fact that she is a woman, it is interesting, and I would like to make reference to a comment that was made on the first day of training, where a participant, in terms of discussing inclusion and those affected, the reference was made to some of these individuals are invisible. And so to have a person with a disability facilitating the discussions around inclusion, it's a powerful way of really getting the message to the fore. For those of us who don't have disabilities, when we have conversations around disability inclusion, yes, you could have people that buy into it, but I think the greatest buy-in is when you have members of the community who have lived experiences are able to come in and share with decision makers. And at an EOC training, those participants that we have for the training, they are actually decision makers. So we see that's a positive in consideration in terms of planning for training. And where we've had persons with disabilities share their stories, we've found that when we undertake our post-test during the training, there is a great shift toward understanding better the need for inclusions and the importance of considerations of persons with disability in the inclusion space in terms of programming.
Special schools in Nadroga, with the closing remark of the Honorable Minister of Disaster Management, Mr. Seruiratu, when he says that it is high time that we must make a paradigm shift. High time that we should be looking for people, cultivating people who can embrace and manage the changes. In that context, I used to bring them to the context and the analogy or the illustration between the Singatoka Old Broken Bridge and the Melrose Bridge. The Singatoka Old Broken Bridge resembles the old beaten road. And if you continue to travel in that bridge, managing the changes that are coming in, then we will continue to fight a losing battle. It's a local illustration. Singatoka has that unique features, and it is something that they see every day, and hopefully it will remind them on the importance of paradigm shift.
That we had just discussed. We said that the EOC, you've got one team, whether you representative of any organization, you enter to the EOC, you become a member of the EOC.
Firstly, I want to thank the NDMO for providing this training. It has really helped me a lot. First tropical cyclone I went to was Tropical Cyclone Harold. And from what I've learned in this 5-day training, it has helped me to see how the importance of getting the information and the type of information needed and the channel of communication in the EOC when a disaster strikes, and the high authority we report to. So the information here is, what we've learned, that the information is really critical for making decisions in helping out to the communities when a disaster strikes. And also I've learned that when a disaster strikes, we've learned that we have to be ready, disaster ready for anything that happens, any disaster or any hazard. And I'm really grateful for this 5 days training. It has really given me knowledge, skills, and understanding of, and also to be disaster ready in future disasters.
Together with category 4 tropical cyclone Lina, we also had 2 other tropical cyclones, Boa and Frank. But the news on tropical cyclone Boa and Frank has not been received or updated by Fiji. Emergency Operations Center activation, and the entire topic was working as a team. So that was the main focus of this entire workshop. We have worked in an EOC, but this workshop has strengthened my knowledge and given me the skills on how to work as a proper team and how to activate in terms of disaster. And also we have learned that every person has a role, and everyone's role is extremely essential in the smooth running of the entire EOC. It's not that one person does the job, it's the entire team that does the job, and it is reflected on the outcome at the end of the day. So this EOC workshop is extremely important, and I believe everybody in the workshop will agree with me that all of us have learned hands-on, especially the past 2 days has been really beneficial for us. We were able to do the simulation exercise and get a feel of what it is like to actually do the entire EOC process in a real setting, to how to get the notes, the papers, the documents, how to pass it along, where to approach, how to deal with the personnel, how to involve stakeholders and everything. So I guess this workshop is something like an eye-opener and a real support for us civil servants, because all of us will in future will be working together in EOCs. So might as well just start now.
Follow during the implementation?
Is, during disaster in the interior of Navosa, most of the time, it is very hard to run the operation. One of the things is the ability, the knowledge of the people whom we engage during a disaster. They are not fully equipped with the knowledge on how to fill the form, how to come for the shift work, how to respond and to the timeline. And most of the time, only the office of the district officer Navosa and the staff are the one who always engage. I really appreciate government, especially NDMO, for the running of this workshop in the 1 week. I understand that most of our civil servants that came from Navosa within this 1 week are well aware with the knowledge, with the skills, and with the requirement of the work that they need to do whenever disaster comes. With the completion of this training, the 4 officers that I brought from Navosa will assist us, will assist me in terms of emergency operation in the interior of Navosa.
I think all of us from the training that we have had this week kind of opened up our understanding, opened up the way we see things, and there were new inclusions into the training that we knew it was there, but it kind of broadened our understanding and knowledge of the new vulnerable groups that has been included in the training. So times have changed, things have intensified, the approaches to certain things will need to change. You cannot hold on to something that you have been using 5 years ago, that it's workable now. So strategies and the way you respond. So it's important that we all understand the situation, understand the people that we are working with, people that we are dealing with, in order to better address the future situations and circumstances that we come across.
Kekovondo ositau bale, sekovondo motoka. Konayado ngai Nadroga Navosa. So era kaya leida vai. Ni bana mai le mai na hinga takai chumba bani.